Hi, my name is Charisse, and this is Spirit Soul Sense, information for your soul. It's also a place for healing, positivity, and fun. And I want to continue talking about Greenleaf and Jacob. So, when I was watching Jacob having his affair in season one, I think, because we're going to talk about like all the seasons blended, one through three, before season four comes. So if you haven't seen season one, two, or three, spoiler alert. I don't believe in spoilers, but if you don't want the surprise to be ruined for you, don't watch. Come back. So Jacob has an affair with this lady, this white woman at the church. And I thought the creators did a beautiful job demonstrating what the appeal about having an affair is. There's this great book called Mating in Captivity by Esther Perel, and she documents so well all the challenges in the 21st century of finding a partner and expecting that partner to be your everything. So they really humanized Jacob when he was having his affair so that you didn't hate him. I mean, I didn't hate him, but I know I have very specific views on cheating. And it's usually the person who is doing the cheating is the one with all the issues. I think typically that's the man, and then the woman feels sort of responsible and betrayed. But really, the person who is doing the cheating, they are having an issue in themselves that they need to work on. And it's usually a hole in their heart or some kind of trauma that they experience that makes them think that the solution to their problem, which is not feeling good on the inside, is that they're going to find it in someone else on the outside. A lot of times that's wrapped up in secrecy and like wanting there to be a secret, something that no one knows about, and excitement about that. In Jacob's case, his wife, Carissa, if you see her across the seasons, she is very dominating, domineering. She sort of acts like she's the head of the household, emasculates him. I don't think there's ever a good reason to cheat. Like the person who is cheating is directly responsible for their behaviors when they cheat, but you can understand in the dynamics of their family what it is that Jacob was looking for that he wasn't getting in his marriage. And so we see them as a Christian couple going to therapy, marital counseling, trying to figure out what is happening here in our marriage. We would like to fix this. And I thought that was great. I thought that was very realistic. And I like to say realistic when I'm talking about this show because I like to watch things that are not so fantastical. Yeah, I like the Avengers, but I like it specifically because it's fantasy. When I'm watching something like Greenleaf, I don't want it to be a bunch of reality mixed with fantasy. Like, I want it to feel like it could really happen. I want it to feel like stories that we can all relate to. And in Jacob's case, I think infidelity is something that a lot of people can relate to. A lot of people have either cheated or been cheated on. So they know the feeling of betrayal, like you're not important. And the person who has done the cheating, that the pain that they've caused someone that they maybe wanted to do intentionally, maybe they didn't. But it's all an opportunity for the folks involved to grow and learn. Maybe part of Jacob's experience of not feeling very masculine and like he was in charge and responsible for things comes from him trying for a very long time to live up to this idea of his father. It really appeared that he had his father on a pedestal and he just could never measure up. And so like no matter what he did, he just wasn't good enough. And so he was pursuing like a baseball career, I think, and then he got injured maybe. I might be making that up. But he was no longer doing that and then kind of fell into pastoring. But I think his father could feel that he wasn't very passionate about it. Even though I think Jacob wanted to be passionate, like he wanted this thing to work. This is what I picked and it's going to do well because I'm going to work super hard for it. But I think his father always felt like this is not your calling. Like you are doing it and you're working hard, but this is not what you're supposed to be doing. And so we see the bishop trying to give Jacob opportunities to pursue his own passions and, saying that I don't think this is for you. I think because he really wanted Grace, Gigi, to do that role of pastoring because from a very young age, she was called to do it. But Jacob just wasn't letting it go. And so it was very interesting that he goes over to his father's nemesis in response. It was very like adolescent. I'm rebelling. You won't see how great I am. I'll go to somebody and see how great I am. I was like, Jacob, you are, what did you say? You're 40 years old. You're still living, I mean, it's a mansion. You're still living at home and you have kids, and your response to your father demoting you from a pastor of the church is to go over to another church that doesn't like him, and then plot with them to build a community center across from your father's church. I was like, Jacob, please stop. Please, come on. Carissa, get your man. I mean, come on. It was all very interesting. Because they were so wrapped up in all that drama that was going on, they weren't even paying attention to what their daughter Zora was doing. Oh my gosh. I think Zora is maybe a preacher's kid that everyone who's a preacher's kid can relate to. I'm not a preacher's kid, but I know what it's like growing up in the church. All of that pressure to be good and perfect, to get good grades, to look pretty. I mean, it really made sense why Zora was doing drugs, why she was in an abusive relationship with a boy in the church, why she was stealing. Like, you could see all these pressures that her family were going through. Nobody was really paying attention to her, listening to her. I mean, how did they miss like a whole mark on her arm? It was crazy. It was crazy. And then when she finally ran away, honestly, she was 18, but she like ran away. Like, dude came to her big mansion gate and like argued with her father, sped away, whisked her away. Like, it was crazy. I was like, Zora, what are you doing? Baby girl, what are you doing? But like, her relationship with that guy, I can completely understand. A lot of people get caught up in searching for something on the outside that's going to validate. I know I did. I completely know what being in an abusive relationship is like. The only thing that I thought like was about this was, she left one time. Like, she stayed with him throughout a lot of series of abuse, but then she came to this point where she was like, well, if you're not gonna hire me, and you're not gonna let me go to school, then I'm gonna go. And I am curious to see if in season 4 she's gonna go back, because the average time that a woman leaves her abuser is 7 times. It's a lot of times, the back and forth, before you realize like this doesn't make any sense. But I think maybe because she had a really great foundation and she had, God and church and a fairly stable household and a lot of examples of what appears to be healthy relationships, because I'll get into Bishop and Lady May in another video, because it appears to be a healthy relationship. But children can often pick up on all of those like subtle relationships and the tensions, and then they internalize them. So it makes complete sense, like Zora's appeal to this guy and wanting to be away from her family and all of that crazy. So at the end of season 3, everything looks like a big happy family again. And so I mean, she even becomes friends with Grace's daughter again. Like, they were estranged for a while. So I am very interested to see what her role in season 4 is going to be. Is she gonna go back to him or not? Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment if you wish.